boy, you know, these are crazy, crazy times. And it's easy to see a lot of people taking a lot of action out there thinking this is what needs doing, this is what needs doing, this is what needs doing. But in the end, we have to come up with what's ours to do. But before I get into that even further, I got a joke for you. Kindergarten teacher is wanting to teach self-esteem to her class. So she asks the class, does anybody here feel dumb? Expecting nobody to stand. But all of a sudden, this little boy, Tommy, from the back stands up. She doesn't know what to do. She didn't expect this. She goes, Tommy, do you really feel dumb? And Tommy says, no, teacher, I just didn't want you to stand by yourself. Okay, that was his to do. Now we're going to talk about what's yours to do. Because this is not an easy thing to come up with. We all start out going, we must do something. We must do something. There's racial injustice in our country. There's Black people dying. We must do something. But like every circumstance, we in our movement must start in the exact same place we always do, which is within ourselves. I have a saying, truth is only truth if it roots all the way down.
Something's
There are
wrong
really
here.
very few things that are true. Somebody out there is talking. Make sure you're muted. Love is true. Spirit is true. Light, divine nature. Everything else isn't. Truth is only truth if it roots all the way down. And so, how do we get there? We get there through spiritual mind treatment, through meditation. Trish said earlier, you think you can change the world just by sitting in prayer? Well, I actually took a class on that, where we had to manifest with the only way to graduate this class was to have something show up that we didn't take any action for at all. And so because so many things are emotionally charged, the idea was to learn this with something that was not emotionally charged. I personally picked a $100 bill, not $100, but specifically a $100 bill, because I thought people hand me money all the time, but if it's a $100 bill, it would stand out as something that I don't normally create. Actually, I created a lot more now than I used to. People hand me $100 bills all the time now. But back then when I was 25 years old, that really wasn't the case. And so the idea is as we're going through this class and we're learning how to rest in ourselves, get deep within ourselves, know the truth about ourselves, not take any action. We weren't allowed to ask anybody for money. We weren't allowed to tell anybody what it was we were going for. We just had to be with it and know it and see it show up. And one day, I get a knock on my door. I didn't even have to leave the apartment. I get a knock on my door. And when I open it, a gentleman hands me a $100 bill and says, "This is for the support you've given my wife," and walks away. So yes, we actually can create change just through beingness when we know the truth and get deep enough into it. But that was, it's picking when we pick something that we're emotionally charged about, then it gets tougher. It gets tougher to find that deep a place. But it's not impossible. Sometimes, for me personally, that question, what is mine to do, I have now been asking myself for decades. It has become the practice of my life to not take any action before it is mine to do, and to wait until the clarity is full. Like, no doubt, no problem. This is what action I'm to take. So even though it's true that we could change this world simply by knowing it to be so, we didn't come here as human beings to sit on our duffs our whole life. But what actions to take? Once again, I bring to your attention my favorite quote: transformation does not rectify, it transmutes. So if we are in a place of thinking that something needs to be fixed, then we have not sat long enough and gone deep enough. If we are in upset and outrage around racial injustice, we have not sat long enough nor deep enough. There is a place of calm, a place of knowing, where we get to bring forth something spectacular within us. Monday, I think it was just this past Monday, asking the question, what is mine to do? I awoke with this thought of taking much of the positive news I had seen and putting it together in a video as a short documentary to inspire other folks to take positive action. That same day on Monday, I was so clear that this was mine to do that within 6 hours, I had gathered all the newsreels I needed, put them into a form that I thought had power, and the next morning released it. This video that has only been out 5 days has already garnered over 10,000 views and has been shared over 100 times. When you do something that is yours to do, when you know it is yours to do, its impact is relevant and immediate. When you just take action because you think you have to do something, that action rarely has the positive impact and garnered the results you want. So sitting until that question comes to light is important. A few days after the video was released, I was asked by an online magazine, Rebel Society, to write an article in conjunction with the video. They put it up, I wrote it that day. My wife, the fantastic and lovely editor she is, edited for me. You know, every Cliff Note, by the way, you guys get has been edited by Ashley. Nothing in print goes out until she has edited my work. Just so we're clear. She edited, it goes out, they have it up in the magazine the next day, and once again, the sharing goes widespread. This is what's possible when it is yours to do. The impact you can have is fairly dramatic. So I want to show you now this video that I made because I want you to see what's possible when we work together this way. Let me see if I can get this up for you.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
So I got a chance to watch this video of George Floyd being murdered on the streets of Minnesota. Yeah, murder. And we have an obligation as good officers to speak out against the bad. We have an obligation, and we owe it to the public and to the other officers in this country that are out here actually trying to do good, actually trying to protect and serve with honor. And if you stay quiet and don't speak out against it because you're fear of judgment, you're complicit in the behavior, the disgusting behavior. It's time that we take these bad officers and speak out against them and start holding them accountable and hold them to the same laws that we expect citizens to abide by. They're not above it, and it's time that good officers start speaking out and stopping it.
We got to change this. We got to break these barriers and these walls, and we got to do what we can as police officers. So 5 years ago, I did a traffic stop where a young man thought I was going to hurt or kill his dad because of the color of his skin, and that broke my heart. And from that moment on, I decided to change the way I do policing. I let them see who I am underneath this vest and who I am underneath this badge, so the innocent people don't have to fear me anymore, because that's not what we signed up for. So I challenge the other law enforcement officers. Get out of your car and get to know the people you protect.
We're here to show solidarity and unity.
Church groups, families, and business owners came together to remove the debris of last night's destruction. What started as a peaceful protest devolved into chaos and rioting. Local businesses attacked for no reason.
We are all saddened and probably angry to some extent. However, this is not the way to correct a wrong.
We also need the injustice to be addressed.
Yeah.
But we also need love to prevail. And so we stand for both of those.
You guys won't believe this video. So a CHP officer gets called to the DMV office based on a disturbance report. When he gets there, he realizes the only confusion is this woman is deaf and she's having trouble ordering her ID. He speaks ASL. So at this point, he's able to facilitate the transaction. He collects the money, starts working with her, and realizes that she came up short on the money. So at this point, he pulls out his own wallet. Look at this, you guys. And he gives his own money to help the deaf woman complete her transaction ordering a California ID.
There's an awakening going on. Don't get left behind. So this is what's possible. You know, I mean, this just came to me. It came to me like an inspirational shot through me to throw this together, to put this out there, to make my stand of what I want to be and who I want to share myself and express into the world. You have this within you, each and every one of you. You know, whatever your politics are, there is something incredible when generals, Army generals who are staunch Republicans realize that what is within them is to make a statement. And I'm not here, like I said, this is not about the politics. It's about people standing up for what is theirs to do. It must have been incredibly uncomfortable for them to do that, incredibly uncomfortable. And so I task you, what is yours to do? What is yours to stand up and say, I would make a stand for what is mine to do in this world? Sit quietly. Let it go in. Let it melt into you. There is something strong within you that wants to emerge. There is something within you that wants to come out and say, this is my gift to the world. This is what is mine to do now. And if nothing's coming, the thing to remember most is that it will. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. You are not here for no reason. You are not here for no reason in this time, at this moment in time. There is a reason for your beingness here now. No matter what circumstance you think, oh, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't know enough, this or that, sit quietly and it will come to you. And when it does, you will see the impact of your actions as I have. This is the beauty of when we come from that deep knowing place. The action we take works. And it works every time. It's amazing. I've seen it time and time again. And it's a practice, because you need to work through all those other voices that may be trying to persuade you that, no, I don't have to wait for this. I got to do this or I got to do that. But I can tell you that here are some of the signs to look for. If there's any upset going on, don't act. If there's any confusion going on, don't act. If there's any fear going on, don't act. Particularly if that fear feels overwhelming. If the fear is there and you still know it's yours to do, well, then you'll be able to act. But just to overcome your fears, not a good reason. There is something here that is yours to do. I know it. There is a change and awakening that is happening now in our society that is just fantastic. The opportunity here is extraordinary. And you are a part of it. You are the light bearer. Each of us are the light bearers of this incredible moment in time. Let us join together. Sit with yourself. Ask yourself the question, what is mine to do? Even though I've done these two things, wrote the article and made this video, I'm still asking the question because I know there's more. And when it comes, I will act. Today, it's talking to you guys. There's just no telling. For you, it was to show up here and hear these words. Whether it's to show up and listen, show up and speak, show up and act, show up and support somebody else acting, yours to do will show up, and then it's up to you to act on it. This is your time. This is our adventure together. And it's amazing. What a fantastic opportunity for all of us to not rectify, but to transform. I love you. That's my talk for today.
God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What I give, I receive multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am, and so it is.